Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup Podcast, Episode 4. I'm your host, Tommy. I'm here with my co-host, John.
We're here live, face-to-face.
Not live, but recording face-to-face in person.
Close enough. Live for us.
So, because we're doing that to celebrate, we're going to be opening up some Crypto Nation 2, which, of course, we're going to be talking a lot about.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah. So, how's your week been?
It's been good. Busy. We were just discussing. We have put out a lot of content this week. I think more than we ever have so far. So that's
I think so.
Very cool milestone for us. How about you?
It's been a good week. Busy week at work. Hectic. But we still managed to put out a lot of content. Pretty happy with that. Got some exciting news, both Flesh and Blood and with MetaZoo.
Yeah.
Having some exciting topics to talk about today. Our main topic is going to be discussing these games and what other formats they could possibly be played in. So hypothetically taking, say, MetaZoo and putting it in either a draft format or putting it into a cube format, like a cube draft format, and what those kind of different opportunities could look like. Or if you take it the commander route and have like a MetaZoo commander deck where you can only have one of, does that require balancing? Is it just because there are one ofs already in MetaZoo? Like you can only have one of X and one of Y. Yeah. And then you have ones that you could have 10 in your deck. So what happens when you restrict everything to one? Do we even have enough cards to start doing that yet? Will it have to be mixed auras? Because I don't think you could really do 100 card Singleton.
That would be tough.
With a single aura.
I don't think it's possible
I don't think it's
at this point. Yeah, I don't think the card pool is big
And then,
enough.
again, how many cards are in the deck?
Yeah.
These are the things that we'll get into when we're in the main topic. But first, I want to ask, what have we picked up this week?
What did you get this week?
For cards, I am still working on my Bravo deck. Right now, it's still in Blitz form, but hopefully in the next week or two, we will get up to Classic Constructed, ready for the Pro Quest events.
Pro Quest coming up. I got a handful of cold foils. I'm trying to think what all they were. Most of them you'll see in the mail day, which I guess this was the first week of those. I already have episodes recorded and posted, scheduled to come out over the next few weeks. So I'm way ahead because I get mail a lot. Because I buy a lot of stuff. So I don't want to spoil too much of it, but yeah, I got some cold foils, some older stuff, which I was very happy to get. I've been looking for some of this stuff for a long time. Really great community of buyers and sellers on the official Fab Discord and Kitchen Table TCG's Discord. Both places I have found myself purchasing from there, and you get better prices than you do on like TCG Player and such. And you're part of the community. Like, you get to know these people, and you get to meet some of the faces that are part of this community and out there doing stuff. So
yeah.
Some really cool buys, and I'll talk about them more on the mail days. But yeah, had a bunch of cool stuff ordered this week. And some old Magic came in, which I was happy about.
Nice.
Very old beta.
What sets? Beta?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was. I was like a kid. Again. I was like, I remember these cards. I played with these at this lunch table. Yeah, so it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and there's more to get. There's a few, like, I need some of the angels and stuff. I talk about this in one of the mail days. I used to draw that's how I learned to draw feathered wings, right? Was copying Magic cards. And not that I'm an artist or anything, but I did spend a good amount of time drawing when I was a kid. And even made friends around it and such. So it's just one of those nostalgia things. It's like such a hit in the nostalgia gut. So I love it. So what about boxes? What have you picked up?
A lot of Cryptid Nation 2.
Yeah, he did. Piles of it. He's got piles of it.
So I would stumble upon a place that just would have it a little too cheap. And I'm like, well, this can't stay here.
Yeah. And it seems like
just
it was
like a box
move.
here. It was never planned to be big, but just kind of a box here, a box there. But yeah, I mean, where does it go from here? Like, that's low.
Yeah.
It's low.
Yeah, I think it goes up, honestly. Some of the news that's come out this week, we might as well
There's not going to be a third printing.
Yeah, they're not printing more. There's printer capacity issues. There's also the potential, and we're not sure on this, but there's a potential that this is the only ever second edition booster box because they already announced that Nightfall is not getting a second edition booster box.
They're getting second editions, but you'll find those at Walmart and Target later this month.
Format.
And they'll be in different packaging. They won't be in an actual booster box.
Yeah, so there will never be a second edition Nightfall. So and it's because of printing capacity issues.
Right.
He explicitly said there's issues getting enough printing capacity. So what does that mean? Is Cryptid Nation second edition going to be the only second edition set ever?
Right, and just
how cool would that be? What a unique product to have.
I think they will do other second editions.
I don't know, man. It sounds like they're not gonna. There's that he explicitly said in the Discord that they think going forward the second edition stuff will only be the big box blisters and stuff. And so if you think about it, it really does help the LGSs, right? They get first edition, and then the big boxes get these alternative product second edition.
Right.
So everyone has their space.
Right.
And the LGSs are super supported because that's where you can get the stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in booster box form.
Exactly. Yeah. It's pretty cool. If that's the way the model goes going forward, not only does it make this Cryptid Nation second edition a super unique product because it will be a piece of history that won't be repeated.
Yeah.
But I mean, it builds the game out and the community out in a way that's really positive.
Right, and you're seeing that right now because a lot of this is being opened.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to play this game. As soon as this came out, you saw the Discords that were empty with people just being like, "Oh, I'm looking for a game."
Yep.
The looking for game Discords were always just silent. And now that this is out,
people are playing.
It's
a fun game.
It's very fun.
It's a fun game. For me, like I said, I got that old Magic, but in box format, I finally pulled the trigger on a couple of different EVR cases because the prices were just lower right now. I think it's just that point where people have their allocations, it's getting close to the date, and so they're dropping prices. Just saw a deal that I posted in our Discord. Channel Fireball's alternative named Card Shop Live put out an emailer that said buy a case for $380, I think it was, or $389, something like that, and get an extra box unlimited for free. So EVR is being pushed out pretty quickly now, so I picked up some of that at a discount. And then I picked up some very spicy stuff that I've been looking and hunting for a long time, but I'm gonna let you watch the mail day in a couple weeks so you get to see it and enjoy it with me. So what about what we played?
We played a bunch of stuff. We played the MetaZoo games. Yep. More theme deck battles.
Yeah, those were fun.
Yeah. We did Flesh and Blood Blitz.
Yep. Yeah, I got a couple games of Blitz in, and then I got some classic constructed post-ban, which we'll chat about in a minute, of Briar cards. Wanted to see if I could still make Lightning Briar function. It flubbed by comparison. It's definitely harder to make her run. I think it's still doable. I think she's still competitive in that format and structure, but it's not as strong anymore. It's clear, which I think is going to be healthy for the game.
Your previous deck had both Plunder Run and
not much
Ball Lightning, but it had both.
It had both. It had, I want to say, 6 Ball Lightning. It was either 6 or 4.
Red
I can't recall.
Blue?
Yeah, red and yellow.
Red and yellow.
And then Plunder Run, I think it only had 4, or it only had a few. It didn't have too many. So yeah, I wasn't heavy on those cards, and granted they're very powerful, but you only need so many of certain types to make the deck flow. But removing them, the big thing is it's an attack with Go Again. So you got to make up for that. And I think you can with something like Captain's Call, because that gives an attack Go Again, and you need to play non-attacks anyways for Briar. So it's functional, but I haven't tested that theory out yet. So a full stack of Captain's Call, I think, would get it back up to kind of running speed. But that's just a Go Again. That's not the bonus damage like those Ball Lightnings are, or Plunder Run from Arsenal.
Maybe it keeps a similar gameplay, but is just a little less oppressive.
Yeah, exactly.
When it comes to
that's what I'm hoping
damage.
is how it plays out. Yeah, so we'll be doing some tests on that. And then we just recorded Genesis for the first time. Played a game.
It's super fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun. Very unique gameplay. Very different than what you think of when you think of card games.
Yeah. Honestly, I was a little hesitant when I looked at it. I was like, the art's kind of really meh. to be honest. No offense, but it's just the game part of it is super fun.
Yeah, they did a good job.
Like John described, it is closer to a board game, I feel, but it has trading card game mechanics, obviously, and deck building and pack opening. But
I think the deck building is going to be epic. We just played the pre-cons, like the match-off learner set or whatever.
And we played 2 games, a warm-up game to learn the game, and then the one we recorded. And it is really easy to pick up, but you can see just how different a game can go with the same 2 decks.
Yeah, because it has that chess-like component. You move your cards around on a grid, so the way you maneuver, the timing, the spacing of it, you really have to think ahead a few turns. Tommy picked that up faster than I did. He's like, you got to think ahead a few turns. And then I guess halfway through the next game, I was like, oh, you really have to think ahead a few turns. Yeah. That's how you set up everything. You can trap characters. You can use powers at specific times that move them on the board.
Because you have to move, and you can only turn 90 degrees once.
Yeah.
And then you can do your attack. If you attack, you can't move.
Yeah, you're stuck. Move happens first, so you really need to think ahead about positioning. It's cool. It's fun.
There's a lot to think about.
Yeah. I can't wait. I want to do some deck building with it because, frankly, I think it's going to be interesting when you're thinking about a battlefield battle plan and what kind of units to put in, and the way they limit the decks is pretty unique. So, pretty interesting stuff. I'm excited for it, and I got the Kickstarter, so I probably won't open that. Tommy made a good point. I was like, oh, I'll open that for the channel and show him what a box is like. He's like, the Kickstarter. I'm like, okay, maybe not that. But I'm looking forward to see this game grow some more.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested, and we'll definitely want to play again soon.
Cool. So let's get into our videos this week. What do we got? Looks like I put out a market update. That was about the ProQuest, related to what's going on there. They have some interesting promo material. One of the the mats has a piece of art that's a ranger with a gas mask. And everyone's speculating on what that could be. There's some degenerative speculation you can do.
It looks really cool, but again, I don't think it looks like Everfest.
I think you're right. I agree. I think it might be the set after. I'm not sure though.
How long is Pro? So that's the ProQuest reward, right?
It is.
When does ProQuest end?
I don't know when it ends, but I know it starts the week after Everfest.
Right, but okay. So if it goes till the next set, then it could be
that's 2 months. It's possible. Right. It's possible. I mean, Nats is still going. It's been going for 4 months, right?
Well, there was all the delays.
I know, but I'm just saying maybe they're spacing out the schedule because of that. I don't know.
Could be.
I don't know. But looks good. Has some good prize support. You got to give Fab that, man. They really do the prize support up.
Yeah.
Make you feel like you won something when you win something from
every
them.
time.
Yeah. Even your local 5-person tournament is nice. What do you got?
I finally got an unending fire crystal again.
Nice.
So now I have a playset.
Great.
And one for the binder.
At some point I gotta open some CN2. I have some boxes. I just haven't opened any of them.
Yeah, the artifacts, they're really good.
Yeah. Also put out a mail day. Go check that out. Tommy put out a fun video about code cards. We're going to dig a little bit into that idea.
Yeah, I'll give you a little preview.
Yeah, give it a hint.
You can go check out the video on YouTube. Fair warning, there are loud noises at the beginning of the video.
Scared me.
And so in the Discord, they put out information that's starting with the UFO set, which is this summer. So not the next set, which is, Forest, Wilderness, is coming out next. And then the summer set is going to be called UFO. And in the UFO packs, there are going to be code cards, which are codes that are redeemable for online play. So what does that mean? There's going to be an online client in the summer.
So it sounds like.
And if it is, that's pretty huge. And then they've also hinted at that they've been working on their versions, and people have asked what it's going to be on, if it's going to be on mobile, if it's going to be on consoles, if it's going to be on PC, where are you going to be able to play this? And they seem to infer that it's going to be everywhere. So
sounds interesting.
that would
I'm
be
curious how that will
huge.
actually play. We'll talk a little bit more about these possible formats, but the thing I'm curious about is the NFTs that they have are tied to like the coins that they have
Back
on
to
the
back.
blisters. Oh wow, look at that. That's awesome. So like the blisters that have the coins is what the NFTs are like, and that's
Right.
tied to a card.
Yep.
And there's other games that do NFTs that are card games. So I'm curious if they end up implementing that. I know it's definitely on like in his vision because people have talked about it in his FAQs and stuff.
Yeah.
Or what do they call it? Ask Me Anythings, whatever they
Yeah.
call it. Yeah.
In the I forget what they call it.
Yeah, but he's hinted at some interest in that. Now, is that V1? Is that V5? Like, that's not an easy implementation. If this thing is coming out so
Right,
fast, like, it'll be a while, I think, before they get to that sort of level. But it's cool stuff. Put out another video on the ban hammer. Obviously, there's some bans for Briar and the impacts it might have on the meta. Personally, I think it's great. If you look at the stats, she was like 63% of the meta as far as wins in championships, national championships.
Yeah.
Second place was Bravo with 2 wins.
Yep.
And then they had like 6 or 7 other heroes that all had 1 win. So like amongst the other tiers, there's some pretty good balance, and you know there's a lot of variability and different things can win.
Sure.
So if you knock Briar down a peg, and if it works, which I think it will, it definitely after our testing, I now see how it has an impact. Yeah, I think it will help her. I mean, I think it will help the meta as a whole, and not her. She will definitely be penalized or hurt for this, but I think it will be a better, more balanced meta. So we'll see.
So what I'm hoping doesn't happen is I'm hoping they're not making these changes because cards in Everfest would just be absolutely broken.
Well, yeah, that's Everfest is a big variable, right?
So because they're making these changes, Everfest was probably done
yeah,
by the time.
way done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was probably done before we even got to kind of the first national, like the December nationals
Right.
and stuff. I'm sure all the design was done. I'm sure it was already at the printers at that point. That's the timing I would imagine it
Yeah.
is to be able to get it out for February 4th, right?
Right.
It has to be printing by that point. So yeah, I don't think they made changes based on Everfest, or rather, I don't think they changed Everfest based on this meta, put it that way. That's not likely.
No,
The
no.
timing would be impossible. So, yeah, this ban could be purely we tested Everfest and realized,
And we don't want another Dust Boy.
we realized there's big trouble. Big trouble ahead, and we already hinted at bans, so
Yeah.
go do it, yeah.
Well, there's probably just like there are cards in Everfest that pump and draw a card or pump and give go again.
Yeah, the one thing that was mentioned, and I'm not sure where this came from, because I don't recall seeing that in the article, but maybe I skimmed over it, is that Plunder Run was banned because it limited design space.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is an interesting reason to ban it, because it was a powerhouse of a card, but the fact that you're like, I can't make this card because it would be too powerful because of Plunder Run,
Yep.
like, I think
And I
that's a
think-
good ban at that point, right?
Yeah.
It opens it up to different variability and changes in the system. And I like that. I like it being dynamic. I like having to figure out the puzzles of the cards every set. Like,
Yeah.
that's the fun.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if down the road we start to see less and less cards with 0 cost.
I think that's a big factor. You know, I've talked about that in the analytics video,
yeah.
and actually been working on a follow-up because of this. There's some things that get revealed by this ban about the value of
Right.
different cards and how synergies can work. And I have a couple new like metrics or ways of looking at the system as a whole that I want to put out in a video. We'll formalize it a little bit. But yeah, it's interesting, and there's a lot there, and it's really like my ultimate conclusion of looking at this stuff closely. It's a really robust and solid system.
Yeah.
The fact that it's so hard to mess it up with how intricate and all these pieces tie together, it's a good system. I know people, that don't do systems design and stuff look at this and they're like, oh, they screwed it up. They have to ban
Right.
a card.
Right.
But
It's just a card.
it's not that bad. And honestly, considering how much it plays, I think it's interesting. I like it. Let's see, what else did we talk about this week? We had so much content. Icelander.
Yeah.
That was revealed. I'm so hyped about that wizard. So hyped. I already built the deck.
My biggest thing is it's not 15 health. It's 18.
18.
Which it's okay. It's not 20, but 2 I can live with.
Yeah.
5
Yeah.
a quarter of your health.
That was hard.
Especially in Blitz.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Which,
don't
I mean,
last long, yeah.
The supposedly part of the announcement was that there is not going to be an adult version in Everfest, like Card Shop. What is it? Card Shop Live? No, Card Market. The one that it was a spoiler for.
Yeah. What about?
I guess somewhere on their site it actually says that there isn't an adult version in Everfest.
Oh.
But there's still that thing about like with the comma and the full name, and then in theory that she would have an older version.
She could
so that
show
could
up
be
with
in the
one
next
later.
set.
Yeah. Interesting. I did not catch that.
Yeah. But again, they could just be saying that because
it doesn't
XYZ.
exist yet or whatever. Yeah, maybe they just don't know. I
Right.
mean, they are very tight-lipped.
Right.
Even Rudy's like, they don't tell me anything, and like he's buds with James as far as I gather.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave him a special card,
Right.
LSS001, the first card of all the cards.
Right.
And so you figure he would have inside info. If anyone
he
did.
doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think he just sounds like he doesn't. He's like, I honestly don't know. So we had a lot of stuff come out this week. It was a good week. Good week. All right, so what are we planning for this upcoming week? What's coming out?
So I am planning on, with all the Scripted Nation 2nd edition coming out, and with a lot of people wanting to hop in and start playing MetaZoo, I thought it would be a great idea to put out some videos explaining how to get into MetaZoo. And so what I'm going to be doing over the next couple weeks is I'm going to start with the Nightfall starter decks because they're out. The Cryptid Nation ones seem to be lagging behind the boxes just like Nightfall did. And so I will be getting them down the road, but don't have them yet. But I have the Nightfall ones, so I'm going to be making starter guide videos, basically taking each deck and then explaining what it is trying to do, like the play style, whether it's aggressive, controlling, how it does that, what cards it uses, the different synergies between the cards, and then take it a step further. And if you're looking to make the starter decks, come with some great staples and are very affordable, so they're actually a really great jumping on point for the game.
Yeah.
Unlike many trading card games where you buy a starter deck and you're like, oh, when I actually want to get serious, I need all new cards.
Yeah.
Where in this, you're actually getting staples. Like some of the cards come with Power Up Red, and they come with your artifacts, and they come with rares.
Yeah, like good
rares
cards.
that you can like build a deck
Yes,
around
you can.
because they're the theme deck.
Yeah, totally.
And so it's a great jumping on point. It comes with a pack, which is fun to open. But then it just becomes... So what I'm going to do in the videos is kind of show you where you can take that starter deck, add a couple of singles if you just want to order them off TCG Player or wherever. You can just buy a couple singles and then get exactly what you need and then make it a competitive deck. Take these starter decks and turn them into something more competitive. If you like the playstyle, because they are very distinct playstyles. I think they all play differently. All very fun. And yeah, so over the next couple weeks I'm going to be doing those, and by the time the Nightfall series ends up, I should have the Cryptid Nation 2nd edition, so I will keep rolling right into that. And yeah.
Whole new series. Yeah. I love that light deck.
I have it.
So fun.
I have you.
You know what?
So the first video I'm doing is the water deck upgrade. It's gonna shut you down.
I doubt it. I like to see it. I will upgrade that light deck. I already know what goes into an upgraded light deck. It is nastier than it was before. So I'm ready. But that'll be fun. Let's see, what else? So we just, as we said, recorded a gameplay of Genesis. That's coming out sometime this week, I believe. We'll have to see what the schedule looks like. Our schedule for releases has actually gotten pretty full.
Yeah.
We have some videos booked out all the way into next month, and which is great. It's good to be ahead on content and feel like there's lots of interesting little bits that we're covering.
Yeah. Feels like there's something exciting happening like
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always something interesting coming out. Market update, obviously, we'll react to whatever comes there, and then my mail day, as I said, is already recorded and scheduled to come out. So one will come out, I think it's Tuesday. Oh, nice.
These
black hole.
Yeah, these full hollow artifacts, I think, are probably some of the best hits in Cryptid Nation 2.
Nice.
Or just Cryptid Nation. They're just going to be staples. They're not.
Yeah. So you were talking, I think we even spoke about this a little bit. The hit in CN2 is harder to get the...
Yeah, so it's about, you should expect about 8 to 12 full hollows in the deck, in the box.
Nice.
And then you have your, I'm going to open both the box toppers at the end.
Cool.
I thought it was really cool. So I think Wilderness has a box topper, or it is Wilderness where they're changing. It's going to be something else. It's either that or UFO. I forget which one it is.
Gotcha. So let's jump into the card market news. I think the biggest news has to be this MetaZoo
Uncle Sam.
announcements. Oh yeah, nice. MetaZoo announcements and I mean, there's 65,000 boxes of Nightfall
In the U.S.
Yeah,
in North
the US.
America.
And then how many of CN2 do we know yet?
What? Oh, Nightfall. Nightfall's 50.
50. Okay.
Nightfall's
and then
50.
65 for CN2.
And then, yeah, like I think it's 62.5 for North America, and then probably close to 100 for
overall.
worldwide.
Yeah. But they don't have printing again.
Right, it's done.
That's it.
Yeah.
These booster boxes are all the booster boxes for both these sets that we will ever see.
Yeah.
Um,
And it seems like they're not going to be doing as many booster boxes going forward.
It sounds like it. Yeah, they're doing a different split into the big retailers. So might be something worth picking up if you're looking for it. The prices have already jumped. Rudy came out with some
Nightfall jumped.
announcement. Yeah, that's
Nightfall
true.
jumped.
Nightfall jumped.
It did jump back down to kind of where it was again.
Was it
but
250 still, or where is it?
Last I looked, it was like 225.
Okay. Well, they're definitely being bought up.
I think what happened is the supply got eaten up, so the people that were selling it for like 260, 270, that's what it showed. And then it went back down when people came in the next day and then added more
boxes.
stock.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because stores smartly put limits on things. They're like, all right, well, I only am willing to sell 6 of these in a day, because otherwise we know that.
But someone's out there buying it up. Like,
right.
it's clear
Oh,
that
for
there's
sure. It is
every
drying up.
day. Yeah. It's wild. And this news is definitely going to add to that furor, if you ask me.
Yeah. My local store still has them. I don't know if there's not a MetaZoo community. It seems like my store doesn't really have
or know about it themselves. Didn't you say
I don't
you
think
walked
anyone
in there?
plays it. Yeah, like the first time I went in there and I asked they knew me, and I asked for it, and they were just like, "Oh, you're one of those guys." And I was just like,
wow.
This is not the game store that we go play Flesh and Blood. This is a different one. The one that's closer to my house. And I walked in and I asked for a box of Nightfall right when Nightfall came out. And they were like, "Oh, you're one of those people."
And then did you go in like this week or something? They're like, "No, we don't have it." And
I went in today. I checked their store online, and it showed they had 6 boxes of Cryptonation. And so I was just like, "Oh, I'll swing by, grab some stuff on my way home," because I needed some dice and some other things. Hey, Reverse Hollow Chaos Crystal.
Nice.
So now I have one I can play with and not feel bad.
Yeah.
Playing with my full hollow. Speaking of artifacts that are good.
Yeah, that's just
Chaos
such
Crystal.
a good card.
But yeah, so it said they had 6 on their website. So then I walked in and I didn't see in the display case with all the other MetaZoo stuff they had. And so I asked them, I was like, do you have the Cryptonation 2nd edition? And he was like, "I don't think we ever got that." And then the one guy goes, "Oh, I think it's in the back." And then goes and grabs it from the back.
Didn't even realize.
Forgot to put it out, because obviously no one has asked for it since.
One of those guys.
Yeah,
Tommy.
but they may have just not gotten a lot, because it's sold in master. So the way distributors get it, Full Hollow Jersey Devil.
Nice.
The way distributors get it is it comes in a mega case of 12, and then there are, I think it's master case is 12, and then that is made up of 2 cases of 6.
Yeah. I never bought a case of MetaZoo.
But I think they just got 6. They just got half a case.
Yep.
So
Jersey Devil, by the way, that's what my NFT is.
Is it?
You remember how I couldn't remember what it was? I was the purple one. The purple one. It's the Jersey Devil.
There's lots of purple ones.
Yeah, it's the Jersey Devil coin. Is a kind of purplish pink coin. And that's the one
with
I have.
bloody hooves.
Oh, I don't know if we mentioned this last time because we got off on the different topic. So I spent all that money, like 0.4 Ethereum for that thing.
Yeah.
Big, upfront cost. Gives me a little discount, gives me some access to some special stuff, etc.
Right.
It has jumped in price. It is worth more than I paid for it now.
Wow.
By 50%.
Wow.
Yeah, so it went down right after
Right.
the fact, and
Right.
I was like, "Oh, that feels bad. I could have just bought one for cheaper afterwards." And then, but now it's what, like maybe a month later.
Yeah.
It's not even that long, and it's 50% higher than I paid for it, which is like almost double what it was when it went down. Something like that. I forget the exact numbers, but yeah, I don't know where they are today. I haven't checked. I don't really care. Like, I want it for the access, which is again why I think it's the right use of NFT. But anyways, just interesting that somehow these became more desirable. I think some big names in Pokemon collecting jumped into this, to NFT things, and a guy.
Steve Aoki? No.
Aoki's involved, yeah, he's already in there, but I think some big name dude. And then the guy, you ever heard of Gary Vaynerchuk?
No.
Okay, Gary V, he's a marketing expert. Apparently he's now interested. And there's something about if you have a full set that's special. And so
Full set of NFTs?
Of the NFTs. So people are trying to get a full collection, and they have real money to do it, which is what's driving these prices up. Yeah, that's the word I
that
know.
Seems insane.
Unsubstantiated rumor, take it as that. But yeah, there's something going on with these like crazy wealthy people coming in and sweeping on the NFTs. That's fine. They can make my value go up. I'll do that all day long.
That seems wild.
Yeah. I don't know. What is the full set?
What does a full set mean? Like one of every kind?
I think so. Yeah, because there's like the gold. There's there's the different.
And then
colors.
There's the ones that are broken.
Yeah, those I don't know if that is part of the full set because they are modified versions of one of the normal ones.
That's so weird.
So it's just a rarer version.
This one's dented, but the other two aren't.
Oh, that is weird. Where did they get hit by a roller? It looks like.
Like the other two aren't. There's like a dent on that one.
Oh yeah, definitely. Huh. Yeah, it's not even hollow. Who cares? Let's see. What else? Where were we? Oh yeah, card market. Anything else on the card market? Magic's still quiet. I'm
Magic's quiet.
Buying old stuff.
Pokemon's going up slowly.
Yeah, I saw that. And I feel like I got ahead of that curve very briefly ahead of the curve. It was like 3 days later it started becoming news for everyone.
And then, buy Crypto Nation, open Crypto Nation.
Yep.
And then, Nightfall, if you want it.
It's really all MetaZoo right now is like the big market movements. There's not much
Flesh
else.
and Blood's quiet. It's amazing. Like the prices for Flesh and Blood, even though with everything out of print, it's still...
It's stable.
Yeah.
It's actually, I talked about this in the market update. A lot of them, especially Tails, is a perfect what you want release. Yeah. It has its hype price. Right. It drops down right after, which is sad and everyone feels bad or whatever. Right. But that's what happens with Magic too. It happens with everything. And then it slowly trickles up. And that's where we're at. It's actually on the rise on a steady incline since that point. And which is really good, unlike the Monarchs and the others, right? So I think this is actually the first healthy release. I know everyone feels bad about it because they're used to the, triple, quadruple, 10x their money immediately. Like, let's just buy it. And then distributors get greedy with it all and all the rest. So I think it's a good thing. I think it has actually stabilized the market as a whole. And we're at a much saner, release sort of numbers and behavior. I'm personally hyped for Everfest. I know there's some people out there buying a lot of cases, like tens and 20s of cases, which I'm like, holy crap, I would not go that deep on this. No. But hey, if they're going to do it, I think part of it's because they want to open them all and be the first to get the this and the that and the whatever and get it out there. Yeah, exactly. So that's cool, but I wouldn't go that deep. To be fair, I think for most people, both of us are going, pretty deep on it, right? Because I got 3 cases, you got 3 cases, or we're going to get 3 cases, I guess, and then whatever else, some promos and whatnot. It's pretty cool. I'm psyched. I can't wait for Everfest. I'm sorry. I want that ice.
I want spoiler season. I know.
I know. It's coming up.
I want to know.
What is that, next week? Next week or the week after? I think it's next week, isn't it? Isn't it a week before or something?
It's like 10 days. I think it's the 24th or the 21st.
Well, they clearly have already started a little bit.
Yeah.
Things
are starting to leak.
Yeah, which is great. So, topic of the week. You want to get there?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So, other formats. We started talking about this and it seemed like a fun thing to chat about. Mm-hmm. I guess let's start with Flesh and Blood. Sure. Obviously, we've talked about PvE and what that could be.
Yeah.
That seems exciting. I would love to see that. Especially with some of these cards that are coming out where it's like, all heroes get this, all heroes get that, right?
Now, would you prefer a PvE where it's the deck, the boss decks, let's say, or the dungeon deck is almost like an AI, where there's predetermined decisions that they would make and you kind of go through? Or would you prefer it to be played by a human?
So I think the question that answers that for me is, do they have a solid starter product for new people?
Right.
Because WTR was that thing before, now it's out of print. There's no real stand-in once WTR dries up. So my answer would be I'd want it to be a predetermined AI if they have no other starter product. Because with that PvE situation, as a predetermined AI, you can sit down with your girlfriend, your kid, or whatever, fight together, side by side, helping each other out, figuring out the best combo, right? The best use of cards to go against a boss again and again until you have it memorized, and by that point you've now learned how to play your deck, right?
Yeah.
So that'd be one answer.
Right.
If they end up doing, more of these pre-con, kind of decks from the earlier sets, which apparently they are. I don't know. I've heard, but I haven't seen it. So like the Iras and the Dorinthia and all that stuff that they had in the beginning, they're reprinting them apparently this coming year. So if they reprint those, that's the perfect intro product. The AI thing is no longer as needed, and I'd much rather it be its own sort of metagame. Because that would be fun. Building your own boss deck with some of your own cards and a combination of what they have and things like that. But
I think if they did that, the community could just make that.
Yeah, to a degree, but they could release some sort of themed thing. Because think about it, if the boss operates somewhat like a hero, you have equipment, which could change over time.
Right. Level up.
Yeah.
Become more difficult.
You have a big monster boss that has, I don't know, maybe powers are the versions of equipment, different types of attacks or something, right?
Right.
Say it's that tentacle monster from the lore.
Right.
So one of the early versions of it just has tentacle slap and bite and then fear or something, like some magic effect, right? And that's its base equipment, and you pitch cards to make the equipment work or the behaviors work, right?
Right.
And then you can change up how the other aspects of it work. Like the deck does more than just pitching, right?
Sure.
And then over time, you could add new powers to it. It could be a second version or a stronger version or something of that nature. That might even be part of the product, right?
Yeah.
There could be 3 versions of it and you have to beat it.
There could be expansions,
Yeah, exactly.
Or what if you took it almost the D&D route and you sold books with story and different events?
I hope not. That would be too much if you ask me. I mean, I love the idea.
That could be really cool.
I would enjoy it. I love D&D, but I just don't be everything, right? That's where I wanted to stick with what they're good at, which is card game. They have an awesome card game, so don't I don't want them to create adventure books. I think that's less interesting.
Their stories are cool.
No, their stories are great. That's not what I'm saying.
They could have if the game got big enough, they could have just other people just do that. That'd just be another thing.
Yeah. Make a role-playing game out of it.
There's no, this is all hypothetical. This doesn't have to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
This doesn't, just because they're doing X doesn't mean they can't do Y.
Yeah. So, this is what I hope it is. I hope it's a pre-con 100-card deck, I'm making up numbers here, that is replayable, i.e. not fully programmed, right? You shuffle it and you get different results and different fights each time. I wouldn't mind if part of it was some sort of dungeon delve, so you go through rooms and the boss fights at the end.
That would be cool.
Because you wear down, remember? Yeah. That's how the game works. So you got to get to the end fast enough to have enough resources left to still fight the boss.
We should play Dice Throne Adventures.
Yeah. It's just like that. Yeah, exactly. A game like that. Yeah. And that other one, I have that Dungeon Dice. I don't know if we've ever played it, but I've played it at PAX in various places a lot. It's very much that. That's what it is. The deck is an adventure, and there's boss fights, 3 different boss fights, actually.
That would be cool.
Which would be a cool structure for this.
Yeah.
I would love that. And then, like you said, there could be expansions. There could be new bosses, new add-ons, new dungeons. Next year they come out with a whole different boss and area, something like that. That would be awesome. And then think about, the Fables. Because right now, they're not used very much.
No.
Right? You can't use them.
No, and you can't make them a key part of the game.
But in a PvE setting,
Right.
how awesome would Corsham be?
Right.
How awesome would that be in a PvE where all the players can benefit from Corsham's blessing every turn?
Or a pit fight.
Oh, I never thought about it in a pit fight. I wonder how that would work. Would that be good or not? It would go away like right away. The second someone couldn't do it, it would just pop. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. But anyways, you see the point? Like there's different design space here that they've set up. It's there, you know? And the Library of Solana, I mean, that does have a use. That does work in a Prism deck really well. Now, maybe it could be used better and wider and broader, but I can't imagine having everyone come in with nothing but yellow cards to maximize its effect.
Right, of course.
That would be a bad idea for Bravo. He'd never be able to swing his hammer again.
No.
So anyways, that's what I hope there's room there. I hope there's design space there. I don't want it to be a static product. If it's there to be the trainer, then fine. Static product's acceptable.
Or they could even release updates on their website.
Yeah, I'd rather them do it in card format, honestly. Because the games that have, like, print out these cards and play it, it just never seems to pick up.
No.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, so that's Fab.
You think Fab could work as a singleton?
I was wondering about that. I was thinking about that
after. So say we're on set 25.
Yeah, you'd have to get a bigger card pool for sure. There is something like that. I believe people were playing at one of the events. They were playing. Was it like everyone's a shapeshifter? So you could play with every type of card. And there were some rules and restrictions around it, but essentially that's how it played. Was everyone had a shapeshifter functionality, so they could play different classes each turn essentially. So you could have almost like you could basically make a singleton format with that because you now have all the classes as a big enough pool.
Right.
So that could be a thing. That would be interesting. I'm not sure I like that because I kind of like the balances of the classes, right?
Sure. And having
eventually that would become one deck, right?
Yeah.
The best deck for doing that, right?
Right.
Because you have access to everything, and that's kind of where that ends up in my mind.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that could be eventually once you get the card pool out, and especially since they're not ever cycling out cards.
True.
It wouldn't even take that many sets to get there,
Or you could just have the rule that any class can use any card.
Yeah, I don't like that though. I don't like that.
I mean, not all cards would be good, so most of it would be cut out just because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But
that's all I see in Fab space. I would love to see a digital game.
Yeah.
That would be fun, especially with like COVID and everything else happening.
Yeah.
We've played so many web games, like it would be cool if they and I don't really like the way Tabletop Simulator works. I struggle with it. I don't think it's its fault. It's my fault. Because you have to know how to use it, and I'm not very good at it. So I don't know about that necessarily, but a actual digital thing, and I know they're not going to do that. No. They've pretty strongly committed to never doing that. So what about MetaZoo? Where does that go?
Well, we had a couple things. So supposedly there is a way to draft MetaZoo, but when you and I tried it, it did not. I mean, maybe it was just Nightfall, but
maybe we didn't do it right. I don't know. We were new to the game too.
Yeah, right.
Like we got to give it room for us being bad, right?
Exactly.
But that was horrible.
Right.
that game was horrible.
Yeah, it was so bad. Slow. We were like, how does anyone kill anyone?
Anything. Yeah, it was bad. Again, might be on us. Might be on our drafting skills, right? But,
well, it was sealed. We did
sealed. Yeah, still. Yeah, I did not enjoy that. I felt like everything was broken.
Then, so like the way, I think there's just too many, like you think about it, with Magic, there's the 5 colors.
Yep.
And then Flesh and Blood, Tails, Draft, you have 3. The other ones typically have 4.
Yep.
And so you're choosing heroes.
Yeah,
so
sort of like colors.
Heroes, colors.
Yeah.
And then MetaZoo, you have 10.
Yeah.
So
and everything, like there's no like rhyme or reason the way the cards are put into the pack. So you literally are pulling out of every 10.
And so what I was thinking about when I brought this up was, say you take MetaZoo, but you can't do it from opening packs like you would in other games. But what you could do is make your own packs to draft. So you open up a bunch of cards and then say you bring it down to 3 or 4 colors.
Yeah, like a pre-designed cube, essentially.
Right, a pre-designed cube draft of MetaZoo, where you bring it down to the 3 or 4 colors, and then but you make sure those 3 or 4 colors have synergy for dual aura decks, so people could splash one color, like you could go green and splash red
with the rock artifacts and stuff.
Sure,
they have those that help get across. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not hard if everything is like at one cost, right? Splashing is very easy. That's the one thing that we didn't understand at the time we did this, which is why I think it may be partially on us and not the product. At least I didn't. I was thinking that the curve was like Magic and was building that way, and it is not.
No, it is very different.
It is not. That has been very clearly demonstrated by the theme decks in our other fights. You can get away with a lot less auras than you do mana, and so I think part of it was I was just flooding out, and it was like I'm not doing anything because all I have is auras in this deck. So I think that's a factor where it's like maybe revisit that, but then customize it. Yeah, I like that idea. Pick a few colors, ones that work together. Get the rocks in there, or maybe everyone gets to pick, gets 2 of their choice or something like that, like just freebie token style. Yeah, that would be fun. I think it'd be cool to make some custom ones too. I like the idea of like a Singleton Draft.
Oh, so there's a draft, but there's only one,
and it's all these high power things. It's all the Mothmans, it's all the Wendigos, it's all the, what I'm saying?
Some of the cards like Mothman require other cards to combo off of, and if you don't draft them, then they're junk.
Well, maybe it's in like packs, like Jumpstart product for Magic, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a theme pack. So you don't draft like every single card, but you get like a theme pack, and it's literally all the powerhouses of Night, and all the powerhouses of Fire, and that's one of your packs.
Yeah.
That'd be wild. I don't know.
I mean, they kind of did that with the release event decks, where you buy the release event deck. It's basically a theme deck, and then you get 3 packs with it.
Yeah.
And then you have the theme deck. You have a good deck, and then you can buff it with whatever you open in the 3 packs.
Yeah, they never really had anything. I think the 1 or 2 I opened, I think I had like 1 card out of all the
that
packs.
Could really go.
Yeah, that was even useful for the deck, right? So, yeah, it's interesting there. There's a lot of room to design and change things there.
But with Singleton and like a commander style, I think that would be really fun. Like we were talking either during or after the game, we were talking about how MetaZoo's advertised, like it says on the box, for 2. Oh, this one says 2 to 4 players. The other ones, some of the other boxes say like 2 to 6 players.
Does it? Interesting.
Yeah. And it says 20 to 60 minutes. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the release event deck says up to 6 players. But I'm not.
I don't know.
But I mean, that's multiplayer. And so a lot of these cards have effects. And then whereas the Terras really come into play because they don't rotate when you don't have 7. What is it? Like 6 or 7 can be out at a time?
Yeah, I think it's 6, yeah.
And so they don't start pushing off until new ones come in. And if you're only a
lot of power.
But that's a lot of Terra.
Yeah.
And so, but if you have 4 or 6 people.
Yep.
And then you have a lot of Terra going onto the board.
Yep.
Because right now, why would you take more than 1 Terra in your deck?
There's a couple decks where I would do it. I mean, I guess it depends on how many cards I have in the deck and
because you
what
could
I'm
also
trying
just
to
have
do.
You could have what is it, like Unbound Earth or whatever, where you can
go
fetch
pull it out. Yeah, exactly. So if you have those in your deck and have multiple Terra and you have like high consistent synergy across them, right? And most of the time what I found is it's not worth it because it's only affecting 1 or 2 cards. So there's usually 1 Terra that affects like 5 or 6 cards, and then there's another one that affects like maybe 1 or 2. And so it's not usually worth it. But if you had, like, say the card pool's much bigger than it is now, you had a good deck that consistently worked with rivers and lakes, or rivers and, you know what I'm saying, like 2 things, then that card to go fetch would be worth it. Because you get them, you powerhouse your deck, and then you're out there swinging like a maniac. I mean, I think it would be useful. I realized, you know how I beat you so badly with light?
Yes.
We ignored the fact that it was daytime. All of them were more powerful.
No, so I've been reading into this a little more and like getting different people's opinions. Fourth wall effects need to be established before the game begins.
Sure, but it was daytime.
Right,
and
I know.
They should have been in play for me. It would have increased all their hit value or life points.
No,
or whatever.
but what I'm saying,
I didn't even think about it till after. I was watching another
is like
deck tech
like
thing.
you basically have to claim everything. Like if it is daytime, you have to be like, are we playing that it's daytime?
It's
that
daytime.
kind of thing.
It was daytime. It counts. It counts. But I see what you're saying. So it's not a feels bad. I didn't know that was going to be a factor that I need to think about.
Right.
Yeah. I got it.
And then, but I mean, that just seems to be what the courtesy is because things can,
It makes sense, especially with how many weird things there are in there.
Right. And some of them can be crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
do you have pants on? Do you have pants on right now?
Right. Yeah. I'll never tell.
That is a factor in one of the cards, whether you have pants on or not. I can't believe that.
It's wild. Hey.
What'd you get?
Quincycollis.
Nice. That's a lightning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the metadex sides. That ice and water.
So what else? Digital.
Yeah, and then
cards and stuff that they have coming out.
Yeah, I mean,
talk about that.
So
that's a format.
Being able to, like we were complaining, we'd play a lot more Flesh and Blood if there was a digital format. There's gonna be a digital format for MetaZoo. Are we gonna be playing a much more MetaZoo? Is that gonna get more people into it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Arena proves that.
Yeah.
It got people playing Magic over the pandemic. For me in particular, honestly. And then I'm now collecting cards as a result. So I think the digital format is a valuable front runner advertising, and sometimes that's all it is, right? It doesn't need to be anything else like your Hearthstones of the world. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I will say, we talked about this a little bit. I have my doubts because they said they're coming out with it in the next 4 or 5 months.
This summer.
And I know enough about development to know that there is no way. In fact, one of the first things I saw on a Discord responding to this was, I sure hope they fix all the bugs before it comes out because there's no way they're going to get it fixed. I mean, think about Arena. Think about all these other ones. They always have issues. Always.
Maybe the game. Hey, Sam Sinclair.
Nice.
Maybe it's just a library right now, and you can put your codes in, and then
so the one
when the
thing
game comes out, you have a set of packs. Or
keep it simple. Well, and there's enough of these digital card games out. Maybe there's a framework where you can just kind of build it out, but the rules are so specific and the interactions are so complex. You got to write those rules. It's not easy. So I have my doubts as to whether this comes out, unless it's not the card game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like maybe you scan your cards and it gives you cryptids in a game that plays like Pokemon Go or something. Something different. It interacts in a different way.
Right, and yeah, I could be off on that, and it could act very differently than the way Pokemon works. I just assume that. I mean, I think every game should do that.
Some sort of digital front. Yeah, it's the digital age, and if you avoid that, it's going to be a problem. Yeah. There's a very good point there. The evolution and change of games is so fast. The spread of information is so fast. The meta solving is so fast. You literally have millions of people working on the same problem and sharing their efforts.
Right.
It goes quick. So you got to be able to update, change, modify, move with. And I think that's where digital goes. I mean, that's one thing with Arena. They release a set. Within 48 hours, they know if there's a busted card.
Right.
And that's plenty of time before the set comes out
because when you have that many players, they're quickly going to be able to get more games in than you were able to
test forever. Yeah, it's talk about crowdsourced testing, right? So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Other digital economy stuff. We talked about...
Yeah, so what do you think? Do you think people are going to... Do you think you're going to be able to... Is it just going to be you get cards? Like in Pokemon, you can't buy cards in the game right now. You might be able to in the new one. But currently in the game, you have to get code cards. Or you can go to a third-party website, buy 100 codes for $20, and then just put that in.
Yeah. Which you could do that with Arena too, actually.
But then you literally have to copy and paste the code into the website.
Yeah.
And you can only do 10 at a time. and sometimes you have to do a CAPTCHA between each 10.
Oh God.
It is awful.
brutal.
Why would
That is
anyone want to
brutal.
do that?
I don't know.
Like, it's a good idea executed so poorly.
Yeah, well, there's probably reasons for it. It's probably like a dated system and stuff.
It is.
But,
It was from like 2000. It like came out in my freshman year of college.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. So, yeah, I mean, it's something. I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time in these spaces. I played Arena. I have checked out the NFTs card games just out of curiosity recently, and I think if Mike does that with MetaZoo to a degree, when he's talked about it, he's teased it a little.
Other card
bit.
games are talking about it.
Well, I know.
Like having them in the packs.
Yeah.
Like having like QR codes.
That's the thing. Like there's space there, and I've complained about NFTs and their silly pixel art thing because I really do think that's a misuse of the technology. But in a trading card game, it's more, makes more sense. In other sources,
It has utility.
Yeah. There's utility. There's real tie to a real product, potentially. You could have it so it's your real collection. I don't know. There's some interesting ways there. But I did try one of them by Illuminate X, I think was the name of the production company. But the card game itself was like something about gods. I can't remember. Something. And it was rough. The game itself worked fine. The tutorial worked fine. I went to connect to a server. I couldn't find it. So there's like tech issues that come when you start integrating NFTs that are real serious and are not easily solved. So that's the risk of that side of it. Not to mention like the fraud and all the rest that goes with some of the NFT space where people try to rip each other off. I mean, Mike's MetaZoo itself, after the NFT sale, every day for like 3 weeks or so, someone was messaging every single NFT person and essentially saying, hey, this is MetaZoo. We're giving $20,000 away. All you have to do is click this link. And it looked official. I know better because I play in this space.
Yeah.
Horrible idea.
I'm just in the Discord, and I get messages every day from fake NFT sellers.
And they've messaged in the Discord itself and said, hey, if someone contacts you, it's not us. Do not talk to them. Yeah,
I spam
report them.
Yeah, I report it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of that in this space. So the more these games go that way, the better they need to be to deal with this stuff because it's a real thing, and you're talking real money that moves digitally easily. And yeah, it's cryptographically secure. What you can't secure is the human user on the other side. And that's where it goes wrong for people. So yeah, there's some fun stuff in the future there, but I'll stick with my cardboard. I like my cardboard.
Yep. Cardboard's good.
Let's see, what other digital economy stuff? You talked about Pokemon. Oh, I know what we wanted to discuss.
One more. I've been here's your favorite card.
Oh, that one. I thought it was Loveland.
No.
I love Loveland. I love that frog. Yes, that is a good card. That's why Tommy will lose to light every time.
I've been using the Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links app as like a go to sleep thing. And I don't play against real people, but I do just play against. There's like a story mode and AI to play against. And they sell decks. I haven't spent any money in it or anything yet, but they sell like structure decks that are like playable decks that you can go and play these stories with, and they're like $2, $3.
Right.
But that's obviously at a different demographic than someone that wants to open packs. It's someone that just wants to play it casually and just play the game.
Right.
Which I find is really interesting that they support those players as well as. So they almost it's the only example of a digital card game supporting the casual player. Because most digital card games support the hardcore because they want you to buy.
Yeah, that's how they make all the money.
But this actually has kept my interest with just like the free deck that it started me with.
Gotcha. That is interesting. I kind of wonder if the MetaZoo game is something simpler than a card game. Because card games are really hard to make digitally, like we were talking about.
Right.
But something in my mind just says, what if it's like a platformer where you can utilize your cryptids, right? And that's how they
or JRPG, like Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it could be like well, I hope it's not like a Pokemon knockoff. That would be real bad.
Right.
I really hope it's not that. But something like that, where it's like a story game. Your cryptids are in there.
It could follow the illustrated novel story.
That would be perfect. Yeah, actually, that would be...
Because the show's going to.
Yeah.
The show's going to follow that story.
Might actually be what it is. Because they are doing the whole brand empire thing. They have the show coming, and that's how you do it. You do multi-product launches. Think about how many shows have toys that come with them, right?
Right.
The plushies are coming out, like...
They're doing plushies.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
They already have shown pictures of them.
Yeah.
And the pins, and what else do they have? They have a bunch of different products. And that also would go well with the big box offerings, right? Because you can sell the toys at the Targets and the Walmarts a lot easier than the boxes of cards. Right. Especially with a show launching and a video game launching made for kids.
Yeah.
That's not like the card game, but like a video game.
Right.
You know, like a story game. Yeah, maybe that's what that is. And that would be easier to get out in time.
Yeah.
Because those engines exist. That's not hard. You're not recreating the wheel. You're just building the story and the, jumping and whatever else is happening in it.
Right.
So yeah, that's a possibility. Maybe that's what that. Actually, now I actually really think that is what it is, because the card game, I can't imagine it being done that quick. Some sort of story game that could be done that quick.
It says for online play, redeemable for online play.
It could be online. It could be an online adventure game, MMO style, not an MMO itself, but something like that. I mean, think about, what was that crazy game? It was like 2 decades ago with all the little animals. And it was an online game.
Neopets? Geopets?
Yeah, that's it. Neopets. Yeah, that's it. It could be a Neopets-like game. You
have
like
your
it
Neopet cryptid?
Yeah, it could just be like a point-and-clicker, time sync one. The kind that like you get points over time and you use that as currency, and then you do this and that. Like, it totally could be that.
Right. No, it could be.
I don't know. I mean, there's definitely a lot of room there, and they definitely have not committed that it's this, that, or the other.
Right.
That's the one thing we know is they have not said. What about how you handle these economies? Let's go back to the actual card game, digital card games. So like Magic Online, you can trade cards with others. You can buy and sell them with real money. You can you can go, and apparently if you get a full set, you can like send something in and they'll send you their physical cards, or at least they used to do that.
Yep.
And they've basically abandoned that system, probably because it costs too much.
Well, also Wizards is leaving it. Wizards isn't going to be supporting it anymore.
That's what I mean.
They're handing it off to a new development team.
Oh, I didn't hear that. So they are keeping it around. I thought they were killing
they're not sunsetting it. They just aren't developing it anymore.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, and then on the arena side, there's none of that.
No.
You can't even get rid of cards you have.
No.
Like, you can't turn them into trash. You can't get rid of them. There's nothing. They're just stuck in your library.
Even if they reprint the same card, so they reprint Counter-Strike, you already own 16 different sets of Counterspell.
But
you can't get rid of that.
Yep.
Because...
And you're like, I really don't need these 17 alternative arts.
Right.
No, that's definitely a factor and a thing. I hope that changes at some point. But you got to figure that out. Wasn't there another game? What were you talking about? Was there a game where you dust and then you can use that to buy packs? Hearthstone. Okay.
So Hearthstone, you can. So say like a legendary, to craft it is 3,200 dust. If you dust a legendary, you'll get 16, so you'll get half.
Okay.
And then an epic, which is the step down, is worth 800. You disenchant that, and you get 400. So basically, you have to disenchant 2 of the same rarity to create
the next
that one, which is fine.
Yeah,
because sometimes you get duplicates, and then you crush 2 of them, and then you get the one you wanted.
Yeah.
But you actually get to pick. You just pick the single one that you wanted. And or you could dust a bunch of commons and rares, and those slowly add up, and then you can get a legendary. That kind of a thing. Like, there's lots of different... it just accumulates.
Yeah.
And naturally. And... shit.
There goes all the packs. Yeah, I think it's an interesting concept that you can trade old for new and sell, right. Even if it's at a loss. Like, it's still better than nothing, like stuck or no
or
value.
Even if like there's one class that you play,
yeah.
There's a class that you hate, and you pulled the legendary for that class, opposed to it just sitting there. You can disenchant it, and that puts you halfway to the one you wanted for the set.
Yeah. I wonder if that would ever happen. So I think we've run through the list of our primary topics. Is there anything else you wanted to cover? You got some box toppers
I
there.
have 2 box toppers.
You gotta open those for
Yeah.
the crowd. Everyone needs to see that. I want to see that. What do you get? Don't break it.
Hopefully no duplicates. So there are 10.
That would be sad.
10
you got
tears.
the same too.
Yeah. These ones always make me nervous.
I know. The packs are easy to open. That's glad.
Yeah.
Because apparently the first version were horrible.
Mountain. Okay, that's one I don't have yet.
The full. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Right?
That looks real good.
And some of them are like, I think 40. Most of them are like 25, 30.
Yeah, I imagine because they're super rare. Right?
Yeah, and the first edition came with auras. So these are the only full hollow tears. And ground. Okay, so I'm still good. Wait, I may have pulled ground. I don't think so.
I mean,
Cool.
there's only 10. You've opened a lot of boxes already.
No, I think I'm still like non-duplicated.
Well, that's good.
I'm getting there. I will have the full set.
Nice. They do look good. They look really good.
Yeah,
that's
I was
cool.
super happy. Sam Sinclair is probably the biggest pull.
I was going to say, you got a Nessie there? Is that what that is? A Chessie?
I got a Chessie.
Nice.
I got in full
Kids
hollow.
cool.
I got Chessie. I got Forest God's Amber. Silver Bullet. Forest God's Amber again. We got Tezerick. Sam Sinclair. Quincycolas. Unending Fire. Another Tezerick.
What is that creature?
This guy?
Oh, I think I bought that. That's the
Yeah.
dragon, isn't it?
Yeah.
I did buy that, yeah.
Death
From my ice
Beam.
deck. He's cool.
Metal Man of Alabama. Another Death Beam. And then I didn't have this one. Full hollow Flatwoods Monster
Cool.
from Cosmic. What else? Yeah, I think I did pretty good. Scales. That was one box.
Yeah.
And then the other box.
Jeez. So many. These boxes have
Core.
so much value in them.
Sinkhole Sam.
I've only opened the one
Walking Sam.
Nightfall, and it just felt like, oh my goodness.
Jersey Devil. I mean, that one's not a slouch at reverse hollow.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam. Black Hole.
The black holes are still good, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Busco. Babe the Blue Ox.
I like the art on that one.
Yeah.
I know it's like a popular card.
Unending Crystal. Unending Crystal. Death Beam. I have a lot of Death Beams and a lot of Bloody Rubies.
Huh.
Yeah.
Nice. Good couple boxes.
Yeah.
Well done. Well, ready to wrap it up?
Yep. Look for our videos. You can find us on YouTube at Tommy's Top Picks. If you enjoyed what you heard today, make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications every time we put out a video. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.